Mr. Yu, can you hear me?
These are the moments when routine calls turn into deadly ambushes, and brave officers are forced to fight for their lives.
Who lured cops to his home only to ambush.
What you're about to see involves multiple incidents where suspects use deception to lure police into dangerous situations, raising serious legal issues around entrapment, justified use of force, and criminal responsibility for injuries or deaths.
Them.
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
At
2 a.m. on February 11th, 2022, officers respond to what sounds like a desperate call. A man claiming intruders shot his wife.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency?
It's a gunshot wound.
It's a gunshot wound.
Where?
We got an intruder.
We had an intruder.
Baby, wake up. It's a gunshot wound. We had an intruder.
I got that. Can I talk to one person who got shot?
My wife.
Who?
They came in here trying to rob us. They came in here and robbed us.
the officers quickly
But when they reach the house, it's a setup. The suspect opens fire, seriously injuring the first officer at the door.
Come on. Come on. You sucking all our blood. Come on, bro. Come on.
Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
Who's you? No! I've been shot! No!
Richard opened fire on the officers, with the one at the front taking the brunt of the attack, suffering multiple gunshots to the chest before managing to escape. The other officers were also hit, forcing them to retreat, call for backup, and secure the building's perimeter. Meanwhile, Richard barricaded himself inside the house along with his wife, whom we later learned he had shot, and remained inside after a prolonged standoff. Richard's brother, who was also inside the house, emerged carrying the couple's infant and surrendered to the police. As officers rushed to rescue the infant, whom the brother had placed on the front porch, Richard struck once again.
Hey, come with me. Baby. Door. I got the baby.
As backup arrives, the suspect shoots again, this time when officers attempt to rescue a baby placed on the porch.
I need it. Here, give me the baby. Give me the baby. Go.
Shortly after,
In the end, SWAT finds the suspect and his wife both dead. 9 officers were hurt, 1 critically,
the body of his wife, 29-year-old Shatifa Lobley, whom he had shot. In total, responding officer suffering the most severe wounds. However, all the officers survived.
The suspect's death ends criminal prosecution, but internal reviews assess whether tactical decisions were proper under department policy.
In the next case, the suspect, acting like a deranged individual, attempted to blow up the officers who arrived at his home.
James, stay away from your front door.
On December 4th, 2023, police are called about gunshots but find a reclusive man launching flares and acting erratically.
Upon arriving at the apartment, he chose not to enter after neighbors warned him that the homeowner was a reclusive conspiracy theorist who believed the U.S. government was targeting him with spies. The officer later determined that the sounds he had heard were flares fired by the suspect, who had barricaded himself inside, recognizing
Mental health concerns play a major role in this case. Officers must balance public safety with the rights of a mentally ill individual.
County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yu, can you hear me? Mr. Yu!
The suspect continued firing flares for hours into the night, prompting officers to evacuate nearby residents while still opting not to enter the home. Eventually, SWAT officers brought in an armored vehicle to breach the door, as none of the officers were willing to enter blindly, unsure of what kind of ambush might await them.
James, Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands up. Do it now. We have your building surrounded. You're not leaving. Come to the door now with your hands up. James, this is the Arlington Police Department. We need you to move away from your front door. James, stay away from your front door. Stay away from your front door.
As the armored vehicle breached the front door, James opened fire, but no officers were hit as they remained inside the vehicle, while others maintained a safe distance. Unable to reach or communicate with James after breaching the door, the officers proceeded to break through the windows, unaware of the evil plans James had planned for them. James had
SWAT breaches the home with an armored vehicle. Moments later, the house explodes, rigged with gasoline.
Fortunate to be inside a heavily armored vehicle, as the outcome could have been drastically different. Here are various other angles of the explosion. Fortunately, all officers not inside the armored.
This is an example of premeditated attempted mass murder. Even if the suspect dies in the blast, legal classification includes attempted capital murder.
Armored truck were far enough from the explosion to avoid severe harm, though
Miraculously, no officers die, but several are injured, and the suspect perishes in his own trap.
the next case was utterly insane, with the suspect relentlessly setting trap after trap for the unsuspecting police officers. On
March 29, 2024, a simple traffic stop turns into a nightmare when Anthony Wade opens fire, grazing an officer's head. Firing on law enforcement during a traffic stop is aggravated assault on a peace officer, punishable by life imprisonment in some jurisdictions.
Shots fired! Shots fired! It's going westbound, eastbound! I'm shot. It's just 1050.
Wade opened fire on the officer, who narrowly escaped injury by sheer luck, as a bullet grazed his neck and head, while his vest stopped another. Wade fled in his vehicle, but crashed shortly afterward, then ran on foot, triggering a police lockdown of the entire neighborhood. Soon after,
He escapes, takes a woman hostage, and sets more traps inside a nearby home.
the rapid deployment of numerous armed officers to the scene.
He put a gun on my head. He was on the backyard and came inside.
Where is he?
I think he went to the other house.
Hey, just cover me just in case the guy might be in there. Show me your hands. Sparks, police. Put your hands up. Stop. That doesn't look like anyone's in there. Alright, so we have a critical incident that's going on. It's kind of dangerous right now. Did anyone jump inside your yard or backyard? No. Where are you headed to?
To the store.
Okay. What I need you to do, can you go inside your house and shelter in place? Let's get this family out of here.
Unknowingly to the officers, Wade was hiding in the back seat of a car, holding the homeowner hostage. He had intended for her to drive him out of the neighborhood, but when that was no longer an option, he forced her back into the house. Before officers could piece everything together and return to search the residence, being the closest to the one he had previously broken into, Wade was already lying in wait, this time with more traps prepared.
What up, please? Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Hey, stand up. Are you hurt? No. Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! I got you.
One of the officers immediately dragged the hostage to safety, while several brave officers stayed behind to confront Wade.
So he's in back away. He's shooting deep. Get the shield. Hold it. Stay right here, man. Get the fuck out of there.
One of the officers was shot, but his vest stopped the bullet, while another narrowly survived after a bullet struck his hearing protection. However, the ordeal didn't end there. The suspect managed to escape once again, this time caught on a police drone as he jumped a fence into another property, prompting officers to quickly rescue the woman inside. Wade then barricaded himself in the home, refusing to surrender despite hours of failed negotiations. When SWAT officers finally breached the house, they found no sign of him, but as they moved toward the garage, they were walking straight into another trap.
I got you.
The officers retreated once again as Wade opened fire on them.
Despite being shot and nearly killing more officers, Wade is later found dead after hours of resistance.
Later confirmed that he had died from gunshot wounds. In the next case, an innocent police officer and father of 3 paid the ultimate price when he fell into a trap set by an evil criminal he was trying to rescue. On May 30th, 2024, Minneapolis officers responded to a building following reports of a gunshot and an active mass shooting. Upon arrival, the first officer encountered a man who appeared to have been shot. As the officer moved to assist him, something crazy happened.
512, look, we have at least 2 victims outside at the location, bleeding. Who shot you? Who shot you? Are there victims inside?
Officer
Jamal Mitchell thinks he's helping a wounded man, but it's a setup. He's gunned down at point-blank range.
Injured. As eyewitnesses observed the incident, it wasn't long before additional officers flooded the scene.
Where? Where's the guy shooting?
That guy, come here. Yeah, go. What's up?
He's out?
Multiple shots being fired.
Come on. Reload. Straight ahead. I got you.
Stay around 22nd and 21st. They're shooting somewhere between the blocks. Stay away from 22nd and 21st and Blaisdell. He's shooting from that block.
Get up. We need handcuffs on him.
The gunman also injures 4 others before he's killed.
Mustafa Mohammed, a career criminal who had fatally shot Officer Jamal Mitchell, a father of 3 who was soon to be married, in cold blood. The gunman also killed 1 other person and injured 4 additional victims during the
Even in death, prosecutors often file posthumous charges to preserve victims' rights and support benefits for fallen officers' families.
next case was entirely different, as the officer fell into a trap set by her own colleague. On July 20th, 2020, 2 Cleveland police officers responded to a call about an individual standing in a boarding house bathroom with a firearm.
They're here.
What number did you say he's in?
4. My door's open.
He's got a gun?
4. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's in here. They're here.
Who are you talking to?
You're fucking this man. They're going to the bathroom door. It's right here. Right.
Get back! Get back! Help! Shot fired! Hey, get in the car! Kill that! Shot fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! We need 911 right now. Kill that! Get in the car!
In a tragic twist, Officer Kelap is shot by her own partner, a rookie who panics during a tense encounter.
Suspect wasn't firing at him. In a moment of fear, he ran, abandoning his partner, Officer Jennifer Kilnap, and recklessly fired over his head, accidentally shooting her in the process. Kilnap suffered severe injuries as she experienced nerve damage that caused chronic pain in her dominant arm and wrist, preventing her from returning to duty.
Accidental shootings by officers may lead to internal investigations, civil lawsuits, and possible criminal negligence claims.
Due to both physical injuries and PTSD. Despite his actions, Gannon faced no disciplinary consequences. Instead, just 3 months after the shooting, he received an exceeding expectations rating in his annual performance review. This prompted Killnap to file a lawsuit against the police department, the city.
Though she survives, Killnap suffers permanent injuries and files suit against the department.
And Gannon, whose father was later revealed to be a sergeant within the department.
Civil suits can allege negligence, failure to train, and workplace safety violations.
The next case was a traffic stop went wrong as the suspect caught the officers completely off guard.
On August 30th, 2021, a career criminal pulls a gun during a traffic stop and brutally attacks deputies.
A 2-month-old baby. 2 of the men were outside the car during the stop, and as one of the deputies instructed the third occupant to exit the vehicle, the sheriff deputies were in for a big surprise.
Yeah, I'll watch it for you. He's all right. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell. I'll make sure they're all right. I got babies too, man. Huh? Okay. Shit! Shit!
I'm someone you.
The gunman,
He's killed at the scene but not before injuring an officer.
with over 23 felony arrests, was pronounced dead at the scene, while the assaulted officer suffered significant lacerations and tissue damage to the head.
Deadly force was clearly authorized under law due to the imminent threat. A teen makes fake 911 call, then stabs an officer who responds.
Officer. On February 3rd, 2025, at 2:38 p.m., Fairfax County Police responded to a suspicious event on Fair Lakes Parkway. A caller claimed to have killed 2 people. While investigating, a 16-year-old male suspect ran toward an officer and immediately assaulted him.
You stuck?
No.
Give me your hand! You alright?
During the attack, the teen stabbed the officer in the upper body before being
The officer survives, and the teen is taken into custody.
hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries and later released.
False reporting and assault on an officer with a deadly weapon are both serious felonies, even for juveniles.
Investigators confirm the suspect made the false 911 call. He remains in custody and charged with malicious wounding.
Despite his age, the suspect may be tried as an adult, depending on state law and the severity of injuries.
In the next case, the cops couldn't believe their eyes when a suspect they had prior altercation with lured them back to his house, where he had set up traps in wait.
Shots fired, shots fired. More cars, send everyone.
On October 12, 2022, Connecticut police pursued Nicholas Brutcher.
After a bar fight, Brutcher lures police to his home with a fake emergency call, then opens fire, killing 2.
Eventually conducting a traffic stop, a physical altercation ensued between Nicholas and the police, and he was ultimately released with a public disturbance ticket. However, Nicholas wasn't finished. Upon returning home, he dialed 911 and falsely reported an emergency to lure officers to his residence. Once they arrived, he donned camouflage attire, armed himself, and lay in wait at the side door for the approaching officers, and they were in for a big surprise.
We're here, right now.
That's 23 of them.
Shots fired!
Concealed in some bushes in front of his parents' house, Nicholas opened fire on the 3 arriving officers. He fatally shot 2 of them, while the third managed to escape with gunshot wounds to the leg. However, Nicholas's rampage did not end there. He continued to shoot at the 2 officers he had already gunned down.
Shots fired, shots fired. More cars, send everyone. Officer shot, officer shot.
The officer, fortunate not to have fallen alongside his colleagues, now had one critical duty: to stop the shooter. As Nicholas continued to fire at his presumably deceased victims at close range, determined to intervene, the officer performed something truly remarkable.
The third officer stops him with a single sniper shot to the skull.
Nicholas had fired a total of 80 shots, 24 of which struck and killed the first officer, and 6 of which fatally wounded the second officer. The third officer, who fired the decisive shot that ended Nicholas's life, survived his own gunshot.
This is a textbook case of justifiable use of deadly force to prevent further killings. From ambushes and bombs to betrayal and bravery, these officers faced the unimaginable. Each case underscores the danger of policing, the legal justifications behind force, and the evolving policies to prevent tragedy.
If you enjoy videos like this, please like, subscribe, and watch this one.